Greetings. I'm going to give you a tour of the Rock River Coalition's actually restorable wetland website. We're going to come up with a catchier name for it, but right now that's what it's called. So let me close the splash screen here. Okay, so here we have the Rock River Basin, and we've got our layers over here. We've got just about anything a person evaluating a site for wetland restoration would want to have. So ditches, streams, Huck 10 and Huck 12 watersheds. We've got cities, town, villages, counties. You can see all the stuff here. We've got that's shaded out there. ARWs, actually restorable wetlands there. PRWs there. We have the ARW and PRW properties, soils, contours, 10-foot and 2-foot, Wisconsin wetland inventory. Let's zoom in and see what this looks like a little closer up. So those are our ARWs. Remember, these are PRWs that are largely contained within single properties. And there's the PRWs, a whole lot more PRWs naturally. And then the properties that contain ARWs and those that contain PRWs. We have soils coded by percent hydric. I guess I'm zoomed out too far for that. Or they're just taking a minute to resolve. There we go. So the darker colors are higher percent hydric. Most of the really dark polygons are 100% hydric. And 2-foot contours, which is super handy for looking at individual sites. Yeah, there's the 2-foot contours. Those are the 10-foot contours I had. And then if you want to zoom out, get a broader view of the landscape, we just have the 10-foot contours, which I think is quite useful. And we have the Wisconsin Wetland Inventory 2, which is really handy to look at in conjunction with, those are PRW property, with PRWs, just to see if intact wetlands abut PRWs. Oftentimes they're better restorations when they're abutting intact wetlands. All right, so I want to show you a couple of the analyses that we can do using this site, because it's not real intuitive, but it's kind of powerful. If you are seeking, if you want to find all of the ARWs or PRWs within a watershed or within a township, you can do this pretty easily on this site. So let's select a city, town, or village. We simply go to the drop-down list. Let's go to my hometown, town of Dunn. Just select that, hit apply. Boom. Okay. Now notice it created a layer here with that result. Okay, so that'll come in handy in a minute. So now I want to map all of the PRWs in the town of Dunn. So I go to this pane here where I have a number of tools. I have map ARWs, map PRWs, map ARW properties, map PRW properties. So I want to map all the PRWs within this town that I just selected. So I'm going to go to map PRWs with selected features. Okay. Query criteria, acres in property at least. I'm going to leave that blank. Spatial filters. We're going to do an intersect here. Related layer. So that's where we go back to that layer we just created, which is the layer for the town of Dunn that we selected. It's at the top here. Just select that. Okay. I'm going to just set that to 0. I don't need a buffer around that. Okay. Hit apply. Boom. Okay. I've got all the PRWs in or touching the town of Dunn. So I can take a look at those. Now, what if I want to do a mass mailing to all of the property owners of PRWs in the town of Dunn? Well, first I'm going to get rid of this result by clicking on that and just hitting remove that result. I don't need that anymore. We can, I'm going to go back to all the tools there. Rather than selecting the are mapping the PRWs, we can map the PRW properties. The PRW properties have the owner address information. So I'm going to click on Map PRW Properties, related layer, go back to that layer for the town of Dunn that we selected previously, set that to 0, hit apply. Okay, now it shows all the results here, but I can go to this drop down and I can click on Export to CSV file, okay, and it gets me a CSV file of all of the features that we just mapped. Okay, so here what I have is the primary owner names and the mailing addresses for all the owners of PRW properties in the town of Dunn. There's a bunch of other information here, the property acreage, the total PRW acreage might come in handy too. So that's how you would generate a mailing list for landowners of PRW properties in a township. You could also do this with a watershed. Here, let's do that. Remove that result. Remove this result. Okay, now I'll go back to map, the map features tool there. Here I'll go back to the select features tool. Let's select a HUC 12 watershed. Let's say we want to know where all the restorable wetlands are within our watershed. So I'll turn on that layer. Okay. Select HUC 12 watershed. So we use this pin, and let's say this is our watershed right here. I don't know what watershed it is, but we'll just click on that to add a point, hit apply. It just created a layer, which is this HUC 12 watershed. It turns out it's Koshkonong Creek. Okay, so now using the same procedure, I can map all of the PRWs or ARWs in that HUC 12 watershed, and if I want, I can generate an address list of all of the owners of ARW or PRW properties. So I created this video just to give you a quick tour and introduction, and I'm hoping you can just spend a few minutes playing around with it and seeing if it makes sense, and if you can suggest any improvements to the website, because we're still at a draft stage and we can make those improvements at this time. Thank you very much for your time.